welcome to another Haunted Hangover Podcast IG Live. I'm Louie, and as always, I'm joined by my bud Dave and his rough hands.
That's right.
Rough hands boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh God, get that out of here. So today we're going to be talking about some Halloween records.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of a subjective topic because when you think of Halloween records, you usually think of like sound effect records, like those old tapes and vinyls that were just like spooky haunted house sounds, or
Specifically that Disney one.
Yeah, the one that everyone talks about. I actually have that.
I have it too. Great.
We're going a different route with this one. And if you listen to our Halloween mixtape from last September, we kind of just pick songs that remind us of Halloween, that remind us of the holiday.
Yeah.
So today what we're doing is we're picking entire albums, specifically vinyl records, that remind us of the holiday. So when it comes to like Halloween music, you know, it's more like Thriller and things like that. And what else is there, Dave? Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party, shit like that. If you listen to our mixtape episode, we kind of explained that it's more of a personal thing for us. We like some of those songs, but we pick songs that we think work better on a playlist. And some of them are odd picks, but everyone's got their own taste in music. So we're kind of doing the same thing with records today. Now, Dave, I think I started last time, so I'm going to let you go first tonight.
Sure. All right. So this is one of my favorite albums, period. I mean, even without it charting into Halloween territory, it's one of my favorite records. I got to read off my notes here. So this is T.S.O.L's Change Today. I don't know if you guys can see that. Get a glare out of there. This is our original pressing. I'm a big record collector, so I try to track down as many originals as I can. Yeah. I mean, if you look at this cover already, to me, it kind of already screams Halloween with the fortune teller's hands, blurry hands, and the tarot cards. If there was ever an album that I would tell anybody to listen to, especially on Devil's Night, it's this record.
Bring it in a little more. I want to see it. Let me see.
That's the epitome.
Yeah.
It's the epitome of Halloween, this album. It's definitely a goth-tinged punk rock record. Now I got to read off my notes here. So this came out in 1984 on Enigma Records. It was their third album, and it was their first album with their new singer and guitarist, Joe Wood. He would replace Jack Grisham, who's actually, I could be very wrong about this. I think Jack Grisham rejoined later on with T.S.O.L, but I stopped really listening to them after this. And they also replaced their drummers, and I'm trying to read my sloppy-ass handwriting. Mitch Dean replaced Todd Barnes. So they had left the band prior to this album. Mm-hmm. If I were to say tracks to listen to off this, definitely Flowers by the Door, Red Shadows, and Road of Gold. So now Road of Gold is a bonus track on the digital version of this album.
Okay.
They redid it again on another album. I forgot the name of it. This version's really good. Those 3 songs are bangers. So if you look, the digital version has 14 songs. This one's only got 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is an album you put on. You hop on your BMX bike, 12 o'clock, Devil's Night, just fucking cruise around suburbia with this soundtracking your evening. I think it's a sure hit. So
did you pick a song from that album?
Probably.
Our Halloween mixtape?
I think Red Shadows.
Yeah, it was Red Shadows. I was about to say, because I remember you talking about it and talking about how like the band's sound changed.
Yeah. From
like their previous albums, right? Like, is it after or before that album?
Right, like they were like a punk, like a more kind of a straightforward punk sound, and then when they did the singer and drum change, it kind of got, it was like this gothic rock tinge to it.
Mhm.
And then like the album they put out after this, it was garbage. Like they had like 2 good songs on it. I forgot the name of it. That's how much it affected me.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. And then I just kind of stopped listening. But their first 3 records, Dance With Me, I think Revenge, and this one are all amazing.
Yeah, they're good. I listened to, and they're also featured on the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. I think we talked about this on the Halloween mixtape episode that we had.
Yep.
Yeah, and that music, those tracks that were in the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack, that was after that album.
I think before.
It was before.
Yeah,
because they were more like was it more like a punk? They were more like a traditional punk band, right?
I have the record. I have to go search for it, but I have it.
Show the cover again.
Sure.
Yeah, bring it in close, and then flip it around. Yeah. What's on the cover there? I'm trying to make out what is it? 2 hands and like tarot cards?
Tarot card reader.
Yeah. It is very spooky and Halloweeny.
Then I apologize for the ring light glare, but
can't do anything about that.
No. So yeah, this is a record I would tell anybody to put on, even just during October. The whole thing literally looks like this album cover. Like if you can match sound with atmosphere, I mean, this pretty much nails it. So,
do you listen to it every Halloween? Is that an album? Is that like one of your go-tos?
It's one of my favorite albums there is.
Oh, all right.
It just so happens to be an album that truly reminds me of Halloween. So, if you can score a copy of this, I highly recommend it. I think I paid $70 on eBay, but this is like going back like 6-7 years, so it might be a little more now. But anyway, T.S.O.L.
Yeah, I have to revisit that album. I remember us talking about it a few months ago, and you were talking about the song that you picked in the Halloween mixtape, and I was like, damn, I have to go back. I think I might have that week actually went back and listened. It is a really good album, and it's on Spotify. So if anyone's curious, I'm pretty sure all 4 of our picks are on Spotify.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go into my first pick here. So, let me pull up my notes on the trusty iPad here.
Can't wait to see what you got.
So, all right. So this first pick is of mine is the Cormans, and the name of the album is Halloween Record with Sound Effects.
I've never even heard this. Yeah.
So this, my ring light too is kind of I have the plastic on it, so you guys can kind of make it out there. There's the band members are all like monsters and shit in the cover.
Right.
And then I think if you flip it, it kind of looks like an old sound effects, like Halloween sound effects record. If you look at it, like it's even in the title, like, So, and I'll show this off again. So this album was released on October 11th, 2011. And the best way to describe it is if a surf rock band put out a Halloween sound effects record, because that's basically what it is. It's like lo-fi surf music mixed in with like really strange, like creepy sound effects, but not like wind and like cats like hissing and shit like that you would hear in like a normal Halloween record. Honestly, in this record, there's a lot of like women being killed by creatures for some reason. There's a lot, like one of my favorite tracks is the first track on it. It's called Haunted. I believe it's Haunted Sea. 1 second. The first track is Haunted Sea. Yeah. And that song, just to give you an idea, starts with a woman basically calling out, hello, is anyone there, looking for the person? And then you hear like these growls, and then the creature kills her, and it goes right into the song. And all the songs are basically instrumentals. Occasionally they'll like have someone, either like a monster or like usually a girl, say the name of the song.
Right.
But like Haunted Sea, it's just straight up instrumental with like some weird sound effects, and it's very lo-fi, so it sounds like you're listening to it like on an old vinyl or like an old cassette. And the reason why I like it is because it's so different. Like, I personally don't listen to surf music. Like, where do you stand with surf music? Like what I could compare it to is like the music from Pulp Fiction in the beginning, like the opening. Yeah, do you like it?
Yeah, I don't mind.
It's not something I really listen to. It's not like 100% my cup of tea.
To it, but I fuck with it.
Yeah, but like my other two favorite tracks on this album are definitely, there's another one called Into the Unknown, which is another like instrumental that just kind of, it's very repetitive, the beat, but it's kind of catchy. And then my third favorite track is this track called Satanismo. Mm-hmm. And in that song, once again, all surf rock music, and then like a woman just saying Satanismo over and over again. They even have a song that's basically breaking down what happened in the original Fly with Vincent Price.
Right.
And it's like this droning beat. And then all you hear is someone saying like, the fly is in the web, the spider is coming to eat them. Like, that's literally what happens like on all the songs. It's a weird album. It also kind of remember Something Weird video?
Yeah.
So remember how they used to have like those old trailers, mm-hmm. like that they would play like to promote like their company, the distribution company. They'd show like trailers like all these old sexploitation movies and shit like that. So it sounds like that music, but with like some Halloween sound effects injected into it.
Yeah.
But I've always loved this album. You know, it's one of those records I won't really listen to on Spotify. Like, I'll play it like on the record player in October. That's kind of, I feel, the right way to listen to this album. And I'll flip it around to kind of show. See, the back has like all the monsters, and there's like this huge, just kind of descriptive thing, kind of just explaining like how you should listen to the album, and then like creepy hands, and there's just a bunch of stuff. This release actually comes with a poster too. And I believe the cover's supposed to glow in the dark, but it doesn't. It never glows in the dark. So it never like would glow. So, but yeah, that's basically it. I'm trying to see if I have anything else in my notes here when it comes to this one. I definitely would tell people to listen to it. Like, I never see anyone really talk about this. And I sometimes feel like I'm the only person that bought this when it came out. I never see anyone else talk about it. So yeah, that's the Cormans Halloween record with sound effects.
I never heard of it. I'm gonna have to save it though on Spotify.
It's on Spotify, so you can definitely. It's a pretty. I think it's only like 30, maybe 40 minutes long. It's not a long record, so
album.
I highly recommend checking it out during October.
Okay.
What's your next pick, Dave?
I was gonna know your pick. I never even heard of
that. There you go.
All right, so my second pick is how can I describe this? Okay, I'm just Sumerlands or Sumerlands. I don't know how you pronounce this. This is basically a 80s love letter to metal, but not like glam rock. This is like traditional metal, you know, but soaked in the 80s. So this is Arthur Rizek. Arthur Rizek is a well-known producer. Produces a lot of bands, Power Trip, Title Fight. So this is his own project. This came out in 2016. This album's 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
I listened to it. This is a mainstay for me. I always listen to this album. It's fucking good. Like, this is an album. This is an album that now this is coming from someone who's straight edge. This is an album that you put on with your buddies, with your battle vests, smashing beers against Tombstone, and just shaking your hair around.
the dream scenario, we talked about it during the mixtape episode. We were talking about how our dream scenario is hanging out in a cemetery, listening to that type of music on a boombox with like smashing jack-o'-lanterns and like shitty Coors Lights and PBRs.
This is the record for that. I mean, I think it's a gatefold record. So the whole album, it's a quick listen. It's like maybe 37 minutes long. It's only 8 songs. The whole thing you can listen to. I personally listen to albums from start to finish. I think that's the proper way.
Yeah, me too.
I always listen to the full album. The 3 songs I would say to check out is The Seventh Seal, which is the first track. The Guardian. Okay. When I first heard this song, it was when they put out their like demo EP.
Mm-hmm.
This song right here will forever be one of the best metal songs I've ever heard. There's 2 vocals. There's 2 vocalists in this track. When the second vocalist comes on, oof, forget it. It's something I've never heard before, vocal wise.
I gotta check it out
every time. And then the last song, which is just Sumerlands or Sumerlands. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. This is basically, it starts off like kind of, it's really just all ambient synth. And then it just has kind of like these really intricate guitar lines throughout. And it's a good way to close out the album. Yeah, this is a keeper. It's a Halloween / metal banger that anybody should listen to anytime. But really, I do really like to listen to this during Halloween time, especially. So
that cover, what is it? A forest and like some trees,
a bird or something, or like
it's like a sunset. Flip it around. The back has trees too, right?
Yeah.
And then I gotta give that a listen. I've never heard of these guys before. I'm guessing it has a lot of atmosphere, so that's kind of what fits.
Yeah,
with Halloween.
Here to it, it's just really good traditional metal, you know.
Yeah, it's funny because again, going back to like the whole thing of what makes a Halloween record, it's such a especially with us, like it's such a personal thing.
Yeah,
and I feel like you either get it or you don't, you know.
Yeah.
And I say that in the most unpretentious way possible. It's just like, because like again, like some people don't think of like metal or like surf music, like the V Corman Halloween record. You know, even though that's more like straightforward Halloween, when they think of like the holiday, metal isn't something I think people would like gravitate towards, like especially like death metal or something like that, or black metal. You know.
Do you mean for Halloween people don't?
For Halloween, yeah.
Oh, like, I think opposite. To me, metal and Halloween go hand in hand.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. Not all metal, though. Not all metal, because there's a certain sound. And again, it goes back to, we constantly repeat ourselves. The dream scenario of being in a cemetery on Halloween night, you know, with a jack-o'-lantern and beer and a boombox playing. Like, that's kind of like what we think of when it comes to metal and Halloween. So for sure. It's definitely a mood, and again, the mixtape, you had the Midnight song, Satanic Royalty. Mm-hmm. Again, that sound is very Halloween. Does this band sound a little like that? Is that the way no? Okay.
This sound like, how can I put it? Like maybe a heavier Judas Priest, maybe
okay. I see what you're saying. So it's more like, what is it, like high pitched vocals? Not like deep death metal growls or anything like that, right?
No, there's no.
Okay.
Oh, it's vocals.
Yeah, I gotta give that a listen.
Oh, it's amazing. Anybody that's watching this, if you want to listen to a great metal record, that is a great metal record.
And a good Halloween record. There you go. What do we have? What did Grimy say? Same here. I listen to metal mostly all year, but extra during the season. There you go. So Grimy agrees with us that he listens to metal all year, but extra during the Halloween season. So
for sure.
Again, it's subjective. Some people I feel like just want to listen to like the Monster Mash and whatever, like Nightmare Before Christmas. Again, it's just kind of what you want to listen to during that month. Again, our taste is a little more eclectic, I guess, or eccentric. It's a little different. So
yeah, usually during Halloween season, I usually tend to listen to either like really, I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say, like really synthy sounding trap music, post-punk and metal. Like,
yeah, it's like with me, it's the same thing. It's like a lot of, even though I listen to post-punk metal and like some synthy type stuff, there's some synthwave stuff I like. Again, I think I've talked about in the past. A lot of it's it's oversaturated and kind of boring now. But that's kind of what I listen to during the Halloween season, you know. And then you and I listen to a lot of post punk, so I think that's just something we like. And since we love Halloween, we listen to that shit all the time, so it makes sense. All right, so my next pick, I think certain people will know what it is. Like, I think some people do associate it with Halloween. It's not as much of a deep cut, I think, as my first pick, the V Cormans Halloween record pick. So my second pick is Roky Erickson and the Aliens, The Evil One. Let me pull up my notes here on my iPad.
It's a good one.
It's a very good one. I love this album, dude. It's amazing. So this album was, I got some facts. Apparently, it was recorded in 1979 and released in 1981. So for some reason, it took a couple years to get released.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah, and this was also like the late 70s, early 80s. It was a different time. Producing music took a little longer, I'm guessing, just like making movies. This version I have is a re-release from 2013, and I believe it's from the company Light in the Attic. You familiar with them, Dave? Yeah, they release a lot of like soundtracks.
They do a lot of reissues. They've been doing
they're good. This is a really, really cool, just this whole setup, and I think some stuff for a lot of it. But yeah, you stick the band and stuff inside. And there's like an entire booklet that describes the album and stuff. And I believe the original cover doesn't look like this. I think it just had Roky Erickson's face on it, and it's like just black, and then the evil one. And then with this one, they kind of added this image of the demon from this movie from the 50s. I don't know if you're familiar with it, called Night of the Demon. Not Night of the Demons that everyone knows from the 80s, but there's a movie from the 50s called Night of the Demon. It's a great movie, and I love how they added that into the cover here.
Yeah.
So
is someone wearing a cape? Is one of them wearing a cape inside?
He's wearing it inside. Yeah, look.
That's amazing.
Look.
Yeah.
He's got a cape on.
Cape should be a thing. Like, I think a cape should be as common as a hat.
Everyone should start wearing capes. Someone bring it back. I'm not wearing a cape, but someone bring it back. Dave wants everyone to bring it back. Sure. You'll wear a cape? You'll wear the shit out of a cape. All right, so yeah, again, this came out in 1981. And the best way I could describe it, it's a rock album. Like, it's kind of like classic rock from the era. It's got
a little psychedelic vibe.
Yes, that's what I was about to say too. It's kind of got some psychedelic rock vibe to it, but it's also very occulty when you're listening to it. So this album, and also like when you listen to this dude, you can 100% see the influence like in like metal bands. Right. I love how every time we record one of these, an ambulance drives by. It won't be a haunted Hangover IG Live, but that ambulance drives by. But yeah, you can definitely see the influence, and it's funny because a lot of bands like Entombed covered a song from this album. Ghost, which is a band that some people love, some people hate, covered a track from this album. And the reason why I think it's a great Halloween album is because literally every song references like monsters and like ghosts and demons and the devil. I made a list of a bunch of stuff that's referenced in this album. So here's the list of stuff that pops up. So they talk about zombies, vampires, goblins, ghosts, demons, devils, aliens, gremlins, and two-headed dogs.
Two-headed dog. Yep.
Yeah, that song's a banger.
Yep.
So my favorite tracks on this album are Night of the Vampire, Bloody Hammer, If You Have Ghost, and the whole album's amazing. So that's why the two-headed dog song is also great. I think the most popular track on this album is I Walked with a Zombie.
Yeah.
Like you hear that like on Halloween playlist usually.
Two-headed dog too. That's the one that's in a few movies. I think that's in I think that's in Leatherface, the Next Generation.
Is it? I don't remember. Probably. I could see it popping up in that movie. But yeah, like, I just feel like from start to end, this album is like a perfect Halloween listen. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Just the fact that every single song just talks about macabre shit, and it has such dark undertones. And some songs are upbeat and really catchy. So like when you really pay attention, you're listening to it, you're like, this guy's talking about like killing somebody, but it's super upbeat.
Yep.
And it's just really weird. And it's funny because I feel like I wonder why songs on this album aren't featured in more movies, because like so many tracks on this could work in like so many like horror movies. Like I'm surprised in the 80s, like slasher movies, they like didn't license a song. Like it's just weird. Sometimes when I listen to this, I'm like, wow, I feel like you said Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, that was 90s, but I'm surprised during the time more movies didn't take songs from this album. It's funny too, because we're speaking of Return of the Living Dead, we were talking about Return of the Living Dead before with your pick. It's not on this album, but that song, what is it, Burn the Flame?
Yeah.
That's a Roky Erickson song too, and that's in that movie. Yep. So it's interesting how that song was picked for that movie, but I don't think many tracks from this album were picked like for other movies. So it's just interesting. That's it to me. Like I just find it interesting, huh?
Isn't there isn't there, I don't know it, isn't there a wild backstory with him? Wasn't he like a little...
Yeah, like I said, I've never done I haven't done a lot of research on him specifically. I think he was like into drugs, like
I think
a little nutty. He was like a unique guy,
for sure.
Sense, you know. But yeah, man, like I just feel like again, this is a must listen every October. And I think the guy who produced it, I think his name is Stu Cook. He was in that band Cletus Clearwater. They have that song that's in the Twilight Zone movie. Like Let the Midnight Special. I think that's the same band. He produced this, and he like played bass on like 2 songs. I remember reading that. But yeah, this 100%. If you've never listened to this, change that right now and give it a listen. Especially if you like weird like shit, like horror movies, and again, it fits 100%. Any song on this album fits in a Halloween playlist. Yeah, I think, personally. There's even a weird song about an alligator, I think. I was like, it's just weird shit.
We need more about alligators.
Yeah, and it's funny because, again, like I was going back to what I was saying before, like, I definitely feel like doom metal bands, like, took influence with this, like, with just his style of music, you know? So, let's apparently outside there's some crazy shit going on in my neighborhood. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Living in New York City, there it is.
Shit's popping.
It's popping in my neighborhood apparently outside. So yeah, Dave. So pick up your 2 picks. Let's show off the covers again, so we can show it to everyone watching or who's going to watch later. Show your 2 picks first, Dave.
So T.S.O.L. Change Today. Awesome. So worth your time. So worth listening to this late at night and fucking pretending you're playing Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. Yeah, listen to this album. And then my other pick, Sumerlands, producer Arthur Rizik's love letter to 80s metal. Yeah, grab your buddy, go fuck around in a fucking cemetery. Don't be too disrespectful. And yeah, this is a good one.
And then mine, the Cormans Halloween record with sound effects. Can't forget that. Again, just spooky surf music. That's the best way I can describe it.
I like it.
If you want to listen to an album with just weird shit, weird sound effects, and just like creepy surf music, this is the album for you. I also want to say there's a weird like interlude or like just track, because some of the tracks are just sound effects, where like a creature takes a dump. You hear it. Literally, I just wanted to point that out because of how absurd it is. Literally, you like hear some monster drop a deuce.
Amazing.
And then again, my second pick, Roky Erickson. Is it Rocky or Rourke? I think I always pronounce it. It's Roky Erickson. The Aliens, the evil one. This again, you're not listening to Halloween music if you're not listening to this shit right here. Like, change that right now, and give all four of these albums a listen.
Absolutely. And they're all on Spotify.
They're all available on Spotify. And we'll probably, it's a good idea, Dave. We should take, one of the tracks from one of the albums you picked is already in our Spotify Halloween mixtape playlist.
Yep.
So maybe what we'll do is we'll add tracks from the other three to that playlist, and we'll share it again, because more than likely this year, not even more than likely, we will have another Halloween mixtape episode. And we're just going to expand on our existing mixtape. Yeah. Just because I feel like our playlist is so out there and so different. Just some of the stuff we've picked, and it's unique, and it makes it's fun. It's fun to pick songs and like recommend them to people, and whole albums. Yeah, it's like one of the best things ever. Just being able to like recommend shit to people, especially Halloween music, because again, like a lot of the times it's really basic shit people put on like Halloween playlist. No, you want some unique stuff, I'll
always go for the deep cuts.
You gotta go with the deep cuts.
With the playlist shit and recommendations. So yeah, those are I'd say those are really four solid, really really good picks.
Go give them a listen. Thank you everyone for watching. That's live with us right now. Does anyone want to say what's up or say anything, or what are some of your favorite albums or records or Halloween songs? Someone give us a recommendation. Maybe there's something we've never heard of. Who's in here? I want to say what's up to some people. What's up, Sheila? What's up, Bella D?
Is Sheila in here? I didn't see.
I think she is.
Hi, Sheila, if you're in here.
Grimy. Who else? Did we miss anyone else?
I saw Tina was in here before.
What's up, Tina? If you're still in here. Oh yeah, I see her waves. I'm scrolling through in case we missed anyone. Steve says Ozzy. Ozzy, honestly, Ozzy, usually there's always some Ozzy tracks. Like on how Bark at the Moon is obviously a really popular Ozzy track I think I've seen on Halloween playlist. Yo, you know what's a really good Ozzy song? Secret Loser, that was in the Wraith. That song's a banger, dude. You don't know that song, Dave?
Get up.
Dude, listen to Secret Loser from Ozzy. Honestly, that song fits in a Halloween playlist. Like, I just picture like in the Wraith, it's about racing and an undead guy coming back and revenge and all that stuff. I don't want to go too into the Wraith, but dude, it just reminds me, Secret Loser, of just driving down like a highway and like racing while like some crazy shit's happening behind you.
Big Lou, I don't mean to interrupt you, but somebody is asking about the playlist on Spotify.
Oh, so we have a couple things in here. What's going on? Ink and Dagger, Drive This 7-Inch Steak. That was Sheila.
Oh, yeah.
Love, Observed by the Acacia Strain. It's like a 25-minute long jam piece with crazy sound effects. Yo, the Acacia Strain was tough back in the day. Some of those songs.
Yeah, I agree. They had some good shit.
They had some good stuff back in the day. That's like some old school like deathcore, metalcore stuff. Yeah. Do you have a Spotify playlist, and what's it called?
What is it under? It's under Haunted Hangover, or is it under?
I think if you go on Spotify and just look up Haunted Hangover, I think Halloween playlist or Haunted Hangover podcast, it should pop up. And it's our mixtape from last year. We're gonna add some songs from these albums, and then when we have our 2021 Halloween mixtape, we'll add songs. But yeah, it should be an easy find.
Do you know what you do? If you want, take the podcast. Take the playlist and share it in the share it in the profile.
I'll share it again after we're done with our live here, and so people can listen to it, and check it out. We probably won't have our Halloween mixtape episode till September, so wait. You gotta wait for some new tracks to be added.
I know you were talking about Ozzy, but I want to talk about a really good Black Sabbath song that is when Dio was singing, and it's Die Young. That song, another banger, another song that I would put on a Halloween playlist. So
was that on Heaven and Hell, or Heaven or Hell?
Yes,
it was. That's a great album, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, Dio, Black Sabbath with Dio is amazing. It's a little underrated sometimes. People are so caught up with Ozzy that you don't really hear people talk about, Black Sabbath with Dio. Dio's the man, dude. Like, he was the man.
Ronnie James.
So, what did Grimy say here? The entire album, Coma Witch, which that song is on, gives me decent Halloween vibes. I'm gonna have to listen to that, Grimy. I'm guessing is that a newer Acacia Strain?
No,
album?
older.
That's older? I haven't listened to Acacia Strain in so long. I remember them being huge in like 05. Like 05, 07, around that time.
They still have a pretty big following. They definitely matured in their sound, like with the newer shit they've been putting out.
Yeah.
So
I personally love She Wants Revenge. My mom's in here. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
My mom loves She Wants Revenge. She says great music for a horror film. So yeah, there you go. My mom throwing in some recommendations, guys.
Thank you, Letty.
Also, pretty much anything. Coffin Cats are cool. I like a little psychobilly. Coffin Cats, Necromantics. Who else is there? Mad Sin, Batmobiles. It's funny because there was like a point in my life where I was listening to like psychobilly for like a year or two. I was like 22, maybe 23. I still every now and then I'll throw on. Listen, Necromantics and Coffin Cats have some good jams, man. There's a couple of tracks, especially like when it comes to Halloween music.
I never
fit perfectly. You never got into that, Dave. Like that was never your thing, right?
Yeah. Really.
Listen, Rockin' Creepers and all that shit. That's not me. But I won't front. I've actually seen the Necromantics live, and they put on a great show. Necromantics and Coffin Cat. Coffin Cats too. I've seen Coffin Cats live. Emily, our friend Emily, she loves psychobilly.
Loves Necromantics, right?
Yeah, she loves Necromantics and Coffin Cats. That's like one of her favorite. I think I actually went to go see Coffin Cats with her. Coffin Cats are awesome, dude. I haven't listened to them in a while. I'm gonna have to jump right back into that psychobilly playlist I have and check it out.
You mentioned Emily, so I might as well shout out her podcast. I Spit in Your Mouth. It's another cool horror-related podcast I would check out.
Yeah, go check them out. It's you were a guest on it a few episodes ago.
I was a guest on it earlier in the fucking pandemic.
Yeah. I think she wants to get me on eventually. I told her just let me know. So
yeah,
definitely check it out. Check out their show and check out the episode with Dave. Dave, that was a good. You guys had a good hour-long conversation about all things horror. So
yeah.
Anything else? Did anything else we miss here? 100% agreed. There you go, Grimy with the psychobilly. What else we got here? Anything else I missed? Ink and Dagger. Sheila recommend. Do you know that, Dave?
Oh, that's one of those bands I always just kind of skipped over, but she had linked me an album, and what I listened to, I liked it. It's definitely like vampire, like post-hardcore stuff. Like when I say vampire, literally, I think like their whole shtick is like all vampire type.
Wait, do they look like vampires? The guys in the band? Oh no, okay.
Current stuff is interesting.
Speaking of capes, I'm just thinking like a bunch of dudes wearing like with capes and their collars popped.
Dude, what was it Seinfeld where one of the guys has a cape and George's dad is he's like trying to find out where he gets the cape, where he got his cape or something.
I don't remember. It rings a bell, but I'm like, I don't remember what episode. I think it was. She sent a little vampire emoji. There you go. But yeah, anyone else have any other recommendations that's in the chat right now in case I missed anything? I think that's it. But yeah, guys, once again, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to try to do another one of these soon. Maybe another Halloween topic, a different Halloween topic of some kind.
Twice a month.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do these once a month, and this is our second one, and then as well, my sister Sam, she's gonna be doing cocktail cauldrons every month with the corresponding holiday. I think St. Patty's Day is coming up, so she's gonna have some sort of Instagram live making some sort of cocktail. So keep an eye out for that. And we have a new episode next week. Speaking of St. Patrick's Day. We might be doing something a little St. Patrick's Day themed. If you saw our recent poll, you probably have an idea of what it's going to be. So
Can't wait.
it should be fun. And check out our last episode. Do us a solid. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe. Dave and I are trying to do more video content. So like right now, our latest episode's not up on the channel yet because I'm editing all the video into the audio, and that takes a little time. So it's going to usually be the video version of our podcast that'll go in between releases of episodes. So that should be up in the next day or two. And you can see our pretty faces some more, right, Dave? And we're going to have another watch along too, Dave, right, for St. Patty's Day. And then we're going to have some special halfway to Halloween stuff coming up soon. So check that all out. And stay tuned for it.
I can't wait to do the watch along for St. Patty's Day because
we got a good one. If you know we love Are You Afraid of the Dark, so we love our Are You Afraid of the Dark watch along episodes, and if you're familiar with their kind of St. Patrick's Leprechaun episode, you have something to look forward to. So. But yeah, guys, good night, and again, thank you for watching.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.